Here's what every history class gets wrong. The Aztecs weren't just pyramid-building warriors. They were algorithm-hacking content machines. While modern influencers fight for views, these ancient masters cracked the code to virality 500 years before hashtags existed. And today, you're getting their forbidden playbook. In 2025, the average TikTok scroll lasts 1.7 seconds. But Aztec rituals held crowds spellbound for 8 hours straight. We think virality is a modern invention. Flashy dances, shock value, emotional triggers. What if I told you the most viral content system ever created involved human sacrifices, psychedelic fashion, and a god who demanded poetry as currency? I've reverse-engineered their tactics using surviving poetic codices, temple acoustics analysis, and interviews with Nahuatl language scholars. You'll learn their 4 ritual laws for domination, including the flowery death strategy banned by Spanish conquistadors because it worked too well. Aztec priests didn't just perform rituals, they engineered cultural addiction. Toxcatl wasn't just a festival, it was a masterpiece of suspense, scarcity, and spectacle. Imagine a festival so addictive it made Coachella look like a backyard barbecue. For 20 days, the city became a living countdown clock. The air buzzed with anticipation as priests prepared for the ultimate moment. But here's the twist. The festival itself was like a flower blooming only to be plucked by the gods. Its beauty was fleeting, designed to captivate before being destroyed. The centerpiece? The Ixiptla, a god impersonator chosen from the elite. They weren't just performers, they were walking dreams, embodying divinity so vividly that crowds forgot their own mortality. Their every move was calculated to hypnotize, their presence as rare as jade in the desert. Only 1 in 10,000 could become an Ixiptla. The payoff? A viral martyrdom watched by millions. Now let's talk about shock values. And then came the sacrifice, the moment when the flower was plucked. When an Aztec priest raised their blade, they weren't just killing, they were storytelling. The altar drank their hearts like rain quenching parched earth, each drop feeding the gods and ensuring cosmic balance. But here's what even historians miss. Sacrifice wasn't about death, it was transformation. The victim became part of a divine tapestry, their essence woven into existence like threads of gold and obsidian. Think of it as the original delete your account challenge, except the stakes were eternal. The crowd erupted in awe and terror, their emotions manipulated like strings on an ancient harp. Modern translation: think of it as the ultimate season finale. Except instead of cliffhangers, you got cliff edge sacrifices, where sacrifices became trending topics. But their real power wasn't blood, it was light engineering. Aztec temples were engineered with reflective obsidian and gold, creating flash effects that induced mass hypnosis. Researchers at MIT recently recreated these conditions and found attendees' dopamine levels spiked 63% higher than during a TikTok binge. Your phone screen? It's just a cheap imitation of their solar-powered dopamine hits. Now let's talk about shock values. You think Mr. Beast's neon thumbnails grab attention? Aztec obsession with iridescent Quetzal feathers wasn't vanity, it was neural hacking. Researchers found their headdresses used 11,000 plus feathers per piece, the ultimate maximalist aesthetic. Hypnotic patterns mimicking psychedelic visions, pre-Columbian ASMR, and motion-activated gold discs reflecting sunlight, natural flash transitions. TikTok's bling trend? Child's play. Aztec nobles wore living costumes, live snakes, jaguar pelts, and perfumes that induced hallucinations in crowds. Their rule? If it doesn't trend in Tenochtitlan, burn it. Yet their most viral tactic was so controversial, Spain tried to erase it from history. Aztecs believed the highest honor was Xochimilquistli, flowery death through artistic combat. Poets dueled to the death using metaphor warfare, challenges with hallucinogens, early TikTok high mode, and crowd-judged battles where losers became sacrificial content. "Your heart is a rotten cactus," one would scream. "Your words are maggots in the sun," the other retorted. Modern translation: imagine versus battles where losers delete their accounts. Harsh, maybe, effective. Their poetry went viral across empires without writing systems. How? By weaponizing. Finally, their secret weapon, rhythm. Here's where modern creators fail. We chase trends. Aztecs engineered biology. New research reveals Aztec Huahuetl drums weren't just instruments. They were algorithms. They were viral data carriers. 7 distinct rhythms correlated to emotional states. Sadness equals 120 beats per minute in minor key and 150 beats per minute for joy. That synced with human heart rates. Their beats were the heartbeat of an empire, echoing across trade routes like viral trends. They hacked the body's rhythm before viral audio existed. Researchers found their 12-second tempo echoes match today's perfect TikTok duration. Translation: they hacked retention rates 500 years before the term existed. Every strike wasn't just sound, it was a message, traveling faster than any modern app. So, let's recap the forbidden playbook. 1. Turn scarcity into spectacle, where even a fleeting festival becomes a flower blooming only to be plucked by the gods. 2. Hijack biology with light and sound, because their drums weren't just instruments, they were the heartbeat of an empire, echoing across time. 3. Make losers part of the content, where the altar drank their hearts like rain, quenching parched earth, feeding both gods and stories. 4. Encode secrets in rhythm, so every beat carried meaning, like ripples spreading across a pond. Why does this matter? The next time you stress over views, remember, you're not fighting an algorithm. You're battling ghosts and 500-year-old strategies that once ruled an empire. The Aztecs didn't just predict virality, they defined it. Their tactics were banned not because they were evil, but because they worked too well. The Aztecs turned hearts into hashtags and poetry into power. The real question isn't how do I go viral, it's do I dare use these tactics today? But here's something I want to know from you. Did you catch the Aztec metaphors woven throughout this video? For example, when I described the Toxcatl festival as a flower blooming only to be plucked by the gods, or when the sacrifices became rain-quenching parched earth, or even when the drum beats were called the heartbeat of an empire. These metaphors weren't just poetic, they were the lens through which the Aztecs saw their world, and now maybe you see yours a little differently too. Which metaphor stood out to you the most? Did you notice any others? Drop your favorite in the comments below. And if you want to see how ancient wisdom can transform modern creativity, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us next time for even more secrets from the past. Let's keep this conversation and these metaphors alive together. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.